Thank you so much for having me. I'm a little bit embarrassed to be speaking to so many people who I respect so much. It's really, really an honor to be here, and especially with these luminaries. I'm really, really humbled by the invitation. So I hope you'll forgive the chutzpah of me saying that I a little bit dispute the premise of the question and a lot of what's going on here. We Americans are losing trust in our institutions, and that is amazing because our institutions have totally beclowned themselves and are no longer worthy of anybody's respect. And I can hear what you're thinking, Thank you, wow. I know you're all sitting there thinking, but Batya, if we don't respect our institutions, who's going to tell us that the Tom Cotton op-ed puts black journalists in danger, right? That's exactly what you're saying when you're saying journalists are losing respect, they're losing authority, and we have to restore it. No, they're losing it because they've lost moral credibility. And I think COVID was such a perfect example of this. You would think a once-in-a-lifetime pandemic, what other time in our lives would we need expertise more than that? And look what happened. The experts were wrong again and again and again. We oversaw the largest transfer of wealth from the middle class and the working class to the billionaire set in American history. And what ended up happening was the wisdom of the crowds prevailed. The crowds were right. The average people with no expertise were right, and they ended up forcing the institutions and the experts to do what they thought, right? That's how COVID ended, right? That's how the pandemic ended. So I think it's just the perfect example of how, the medical institutions, the university, journalism, the scientific community, these institutions are no longer worthy of our respect. They have become a clerisy, and they've replaced the divine right of kings with this meritocratic ideal, oh, I'm so smart, I have all the information, and therefore I get to tell you what your values should be. Values have nothing to do with expertise. They have nothing to do with expertise, and plus our experts don't believe that people who don't share their values should have a say. We've become just completely mired in, a situation where our elites have so much power, and they use that power in order to silence people, not just conservatives, but 90% of Americans who are working class and middle class who no longer get to have a say. And now that those people are pushing back and saying, actually, New York Times, when I see something in the New York Times, my first instinct is going to be is that true? I'm going to go look it up for myself. We used to call that skepticism. That used to be the highest value of the scientific community. And now it's oh, they have their alternative facts. Nobody believes what we're putting out there, right? As if it's some big crisis. So I just think, why is this a crisis? It's not. This is an amazing moment in American history where, once again, the masses are speaking up and they are refusing all of our expertise, and it's great.